My name is Maya Chen. I'm 28 years old and I'm a professional photographer. I specialize in weddings, which is ironic considering what happened at my own sister's wedding. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start at the beginning. I have an older sister named Crystal. She's 32. Growing up, we were never particularly close. Crystal was always the golden child, thin, conventionally beautiful, academically successful. She got straight A's, won beauty pageants, dated the popular boys. I was the other daughter, the one parents introduced with, "This is Maya, our younger one." I wasn't ugly, I wasn't stupid, I just wasn't Crystal, and in my family, that meant I wasn't quite enough. The weight thing started when I was about 12. I gained weight during puberty. Nothing dramatic, just normal adolescent body changes. But in a family obsessed with appearance, normal wasn't acceptable. My mother started making comments. "Maybe you should have a salad instead. Are you sure you need seconds? Crystal never had weight problems at your age." Crystal joined in. She'd make jokes about my clothes, suggest diets, offer to take me shopping for flattering styles. It was all framed as concern, as sisterly help, but it felt like slow poison. By the time I was in high school, I'd learned to make myself small. Not physically, that never worked, but emotionally. I took up less space, spoke less, wanted less, expected less. Photography became my escape. Behind a camera, I could disappear. I could watch life happen without being scrutinized myself. I got good at it, really good. By the time I graduated college, I was booking weddings every weekend. Crystal went into finance, made good money, dated a series of successful men. Each relationship lasted a few months before she'd find some flaw and move on. Then, 2 years ago, Marcus showed up at my apartment, alone. "Hey, Maya," he said, "I hope this isn't weird. I got your address from Crystal. I wanted to ask you something." I let him in, made coffee. We sat in my living room. "I've been thinking about proposing to Crystal," he said, "but before I do, I wanted to talk to you. You're her sister. You know her best. Do you think she's happy? Do you think we're right for each other?" It was such an odd question. Most people don't ask their girlfriend's sister for relationship advice. "I don't know," I said honestly. "Crystal doesn't really talk to me about that stuff. But you seem happy together. Why are you asking me?" He looked uncomfortable. "I guess I just want to make sure I'm making the right choice. Marriage is big. I don't want to mess it up." We talked for maybe an hour, about relationships, about family, about life. It was the longest conversation I'd ever had with him. As he was leaving, he paused at the door. "Thanks for this, Maya. You're easy to talk to. Crystal's lucky to have you as a sister." I didn't think much of it at the time. It seemed like normal pre-proposal jitters. 3 weeks later, Marcus proposed. Crystal said yes. The wedding planning began immediately. Crystal asked me to be a bridesmaid. I was surprised but pleased. Maybe this was a turning point. Maybe we could finally have a real sisterly relationship. Then, 6 months before the wedding, Crystal called me. "Maya, we need to talk about the bridesmaid thing." "Okay, what's up?" "So, I've been thinking about the wedding photos, the aesthetic, and I'm really going for this elegant, cohesive look. All the bridesmaids need to fit a certain style." I knew where this was going. "Maya, you're my sister and I love you, but the dresses I've chosen, they're not going to work for your body type, and I don't want you to feel uncomfortable in something that doesn't fit right. So you're uninviting me from being a bridesmaid?" "No, God, no. I have a better idea. You're an amazing photographer. What if you did the wedding photos? That way you're still involved, still important, but you don't have to worry about the dress situation." "You're asking me to work your wedding instead of being in it?" "I'm asking you to use your talents to make my day perfect. Come on, Maya, you know you're better behind the camera anyway." The thing is, she wasn't entirely wrong. "What does Marcus think about this?" I asked. "Marcus doesn't care about wedding details. He just wants me happy, and this would make me happy." I should have said no, should have stood up for myself, but I didn't. I agreed to photograph her wedding. My mother thought it was a wonderful idea. "You'll save us so much money, and you'll get such great shots, knowing the family." My father didn't comment at all. The months leading up to the wedding were exhausting. Crystal would text me constantly, asking about shot lists, demanding specific angles, sending me Pinterest boards of wedding photos she liked. I wasn't just her photographer, I was her free employee. 2 weeks before the wedding, I was at Crystal's apartment helping her with some planning. Marcus came home from work. "Hey, Maya," he said. Friendly, but distant. He'd been like that since the engagement. Polite, but not warm. Not like that night he'd come to my apartment. "Hi, Marcus. Congratulations on everything." "Thanks. You excited for the big day?" "Sure. I'll be busy with the camera." Something flickered across his face. "Right, the photography thing. That's still happening?" Crystal jumped in. "Of course it's still happening. Maya's doing us a huge favor." "Right," Marcus said. "A favor." He left the room. Crystal didn't notice the edge in his voice, but I did. The week of the wedding, I moved into my parents' house. Easier to coordinate everything from there. Crystal was staying there too. The house was chaos. Relatives arriving, decorations everywhere, Crystal's stress levels at maximum. She snapped at me constantly. "Maya, did you confirm the timeline with the venue? Maya, make sure you get photos of every single centerpiece. Maya, you need to be there 2 hours early for getting ready shots." I wasn't a bridesmaid, I was staff. The night before the wedding, there was a rehearsal dinner. I went, but spent most of it setting up equipment, checking angles, preparing for the next day. Marcus's best man, a guy named Josh, came up to me. "You're the sister, right? The photographer?" "Yeah, Maya." "Weird that you're working instead of being in the wedding party." Crystal wanted professional photos. "Couldn't she hire someone? Seems like you should get to enjoy your sister's wedding." "It's fine," I said. "I like being behind the camera." He gave me a skeptical look, but didn't push it. The wedding day arrived. I got to the venue at 8 in the morning. The ceremony wasn't until 4, but Crystal wanted getting ready photos, hair and makeup process, all of it documented. I spent hours in a hotel room photographing Crystal and her bridesmaids. 8 women, all thin, all wearing matching robes, all getting pampered. They mostly ignored me, except when they needed something. "Maya, can you get me some water?" "Maya, my phone's over there. Can you grab it?" "Maya, take a picture of this." I was invisible unless I was useful. My mother came in at noon, looked around at the scene, hugged Crystal. "You look absolutely perfect, sweetheart." Then she noticed me. "Maya, you should touch up your makeup. You look tired." "I've been working since 8, Mom." "Well, you're still in the photos. Try to look presentable." At 2 o'clock, I went to photograph the groom's side. Marcus and his groomsmen were getting ready in a different suite. When I walked in, Marcus was standing alone by the window. The groomsmen were in the other room. "Hey," I said, "ready for photos?" He turned, looked at me for a long moment. "Maya, can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Do you ever wonder what your life would be like if you'd made different choices?" It was such a strange question. "I guess everyone does sometimes. Why?" "Just thinking about paths not taken, about mistakes." "Marcus, are you okay? Cold feet?" He laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. Something like that. Josh came back in. "Hey man, we need to get the ties figured out. Oh, hey, photographer sister, ready for us?" I took photos of Marcus getting ready. He smiled for the camera, but his eyes looked sad. At 3 o'clock, I was setting up cameras at the ceremony venue. It was beautiful. Garden setting, white chairs, flower arches. Crystal had planned every detail perfectly. I was adjusting a camera angle when my phone buzzed, a number I didn't recognize. "Is this Maya Chen?" "Yes. Who is this?" "You don't know me. My name is Rebecca. I need to talk to you about Marcus Williams." My stomach dropped. What about him? Can you call me? It's important. It's about your sister's wedding. Look, I'm sorry he hurt you, but people move on. He loves my sister. Does he? Or does he love the idea of getting back at you? What are you talking about? Rebecca's voice was steady, clear. Marcus told me about you. When we dated, he had a huge crush on someone who rejected him. He was obsessed with her, talked about her constantly, about how she was different, real, not shallow like other women. He said her name was Maya. My mouth went dry. That's not possible. He showed me pictures from family events. You were in the background. He said he was going to find a way to be close to you. He said if he couldn't have you, he'd make sure you saw what you were missing. You're saying Marcus dated my sister to get to me? I'm saying Marcus started dating your sister a few weeks after I asked him to stop talking about you so much. I'm saying he got obsessed when you rejected him, and Crystal looks like you, or like what you might look like if you were thinner. I think he chose her because she's your sister, because being part of your family was the next best thing. I never rejected Marcus. I barely knew him. That night he came to your apartment 18 months ago, he told me about it. He said he was going to tell you how he felt. Did he? I remembered that night, Marcus asking about Crystal, about their relationship. I'd thought it was normal pre-proposal nerves. He asked about Crystal, about whether they should get married. Did he seem like he wanted to marry her, or did he seem like he wanted you to tell him not to? I couldn't breathe. Why are you telling me this now? Because I saw the wedding photos online. I saw you're the photographer, not a bridesmaid, and I saw the comments people made about Crystal's beautiful, thin bridesmaids. I saw your family basically erased you from the wedding party, and I thought you deserved to know that Marcus is marrying your sister as some kind of sick consolation prize because he couldn't have you. I hung up the phone, stood there in the parking lot, trying to process. It couldn't be true. Marcus had never shown interest in me, never flirted, never said anything romantic, except that night when he came to my apartment, when he asked about Crystal. Do you think she's happy? Do you think we're right for each other? What if those questions weren't about Crystal? What if they were about me? What if he was asking me to stab him? I pulled out my phone, searched for Rebecca's social media, found her profile, scrolled through. There were photos from 2 years ago, Rebecca and Marcus. They looked happy. Then nothing. The relationship ended abruptly. Then I saw it. A post from 3 months ago, a long caption about healing from emotional manipulation, about someone who used her as a placeholder for someone else, about finally understanding she deserved better. I went back to my messages, texted Rebecca. Do you have proof? Messages? Anything? She responded immediately. I have screenshots. He texted me about you all the time. I kept them because my therapist said documenting the behavior would help me process. I can send them. My phone started receiving images, screenshots of text conversations. Marcus to Rebecca. I saw Maya today at a family thing. She was wearing this blue dress. She looked so beautiful. I wish I could tell her. Rebecca to Marcus. Your girlfriend's sister? Marcus, this is unhealthy. You need to stop. Marcus to Rebecca. I know, I'm trying, but Crystal reminds me of her. When I'm with Crystal, I can pretend. Another screenshot, dated 6 weeks before the proposal. Marcus to Rebecca. I'm going to propose to Crystal. If I can't be with Maya, at least I'll be in her family. At least I'll get to see her at holidays, at family events. Maybe over time, Crystal will mess up, and Maya will see that I'm the better choice. I felt sick. This was insane. This was revenge. This was using my sister as a tool to get close to me. And I'd never even known Marcus had feelings for me. More screenshots from after the engagement. Marcus to Rebecca. Crystal uninvited Maya from the wedding party, made her the photographer instead, because Maya's overweight. I should defend Maya, but if I do, Crystal will know I care. So I'm saying nothing, watching Crystal treat her sister like garbage, and I hate myself for it. Another message. Sometimes I imagine Crystal calling off the wedding, imagine Maya comforting me, imagine finally telling her the truth. The last screenshot was from 2 weeks ago. Marcus to Rebecca. The wedding is in 2 weeks. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to marry someone I don't love because I'm too much of a coward to tell the person I do love how I feel. And she's going to spend my wedding taking pictures, watching me marry her sister. I'm a terrible person. Rebecca to Marcus. Yes, you are. And I hope Maya finds out. I hope she ruins your wedding. I looked up. Guests were streaming into the venue. The ceremony started in 30 minutes. I had a choice. I could stay silent, let the wedding happen, protect Crystal from the truth, or I could blow everything up. I thought about Crystal, about how she'd treated me my whole life, about how she'd uninvited me from her wedding party because I was too fat for her aesthetic, about how she'd turned me into unpaid labor for her perfect day. I thought about Marcus, about how he'd manipulated everyone, used Crystal, obsessed over me without my knowledge or consent. I thought about my family, about years of being the lesser daughter, the one who didn't quite count. And I made a decision. I walked back into the venue, pulled out my laptop from my camera bag, connected it to the venue's projection system, the same system they'd use for the reception slideshow later. I uploaded all the screenshots Rebecca had sent me, organized them into a presentation, added timestamps, made it clear and damning. Then I walked to the front of the venue, checked that the projector was working. Josh, the best man, came up to me. Hey, what are you doing? Ceremony's about to start. Just setting up the reception slideshow. Want to make sure the tech works. Cool. Hey, can I ask you something? You seem like a straight shooter. Sure. Does Marcus seem off to you? He's been weird all day. Real quiet. Not excited. I asked if he had any second thoughts and he got defensive. Maybe he's just nervous. Josh shook his head. I've known Marcus for 10 years. I've never seen him like this. It's like he's resigned to something rather than excited about it. Did you ever meet his ex, Rebecca? Yeah, nice girl. He messed that up. Couldn't stop talking about some other woman. Rebecca got sick of it and left. Smart of her. Did he say who the other woman was? Josh looked uncomfortable. Not specifically, but reading between the lines, I got the impression it was someone in Crystal's family. I always figured it was you. I stared. Why would you think that? The way he looks at you when you're not paying attention, the way he asked about you when Crystal and he first started dating, but you never seemed interested, so I figured I was wrong. I didn't know. I had no idea. Yeah, that tracks. You seem pretty oblivious to the whole thing. Anyway, ceremony's starting. Better get your cameras ready. He walked away. I stood there holding my laptop. The music started, guests settled into their seats, the wedding party began walking down the aisle. Crystal's bridesmaids, all 8 of them, thin, beautiful, everything I wasn't. Then the groomsmen. Josh winked at me as he passed. Then the music changed. The bridal march. Everyone stood. Crystal appeared at the back of the aisle. She looked stunning. White dress, perfect makeup, radiant smile. She started walking, my father at her side. I watched through my camera lens, took photos, did my job. Crystal reached the front, stood next to Marcus. He looked at her, smiled, but it wasn't real. I could see it now. The smile didn't reach his eyes. The officiant began speaking. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. I kept taking photos, waited. If anyone has any reason these two should not be wed, speak now or forever hold your peace. This was the moment. This was the cliché movie moment. I could speak, say something, stop the wedding dramatically. But that felt too small, too easy to dismiss. Instead, I walked to the back of the venue to the projector controls and pressed play. The screen behind the officiant lit up. The ceremony paused. Everyone turned to look. The first screenshot appeared. Marcus to Rebecca. I saw Maya today at a family thing. She was wearing this blue dress. She looked so beautiful. Murmurs in the crowd, confusion. Crystal turned around, saw the screen. What is this? Maya, what are you doing? I didn't answer. The slides continued. Crystal reminds me of her. When I'm with Crystal, I can pretend. If I can't be with Maya, at least I'll be in her family. Crystal uninvited Maya from the wedding party. I should defend Maya, but if I do, Crystal will know I care. Crystal's face went white. Marcus stood frozen. My mother stood up. "Turn that off! This is ridiculous!" But I didn't turn it off. The slides kept going. "I'm going to marry someone I don't love because I'm too much of a coward to tell the person I do love how I feel." The final slide. Big letters. "Marcus Williams has been obsessed with Maya Chen for over 2 years. He pursued Crystal as a consolation prize. This wedding is revenge for rejection that never happened." I walked to the front of the venue, stood next to the screen, looked at Crystal. "I didn't know," I said. My voice was steady, loud enough for everyone to hear. "I had no idea Marcus had feelings for me. We barely spoke. That night he came to my apartment, I thought he was asking about your relationship. I had no idea he wanted me to stop him from proposing." Crystal was shaking. "This is a lie. You're lying because you're jealous." "I have hundreds of screenshots, messages between Marcus and his ex-girlfriend Rebecca. He told her everything, how he chose you because you look like me, how he was using this marriage to stay close to me, how he watched you treat me like garbage at your own wedding and said nothing because defending me would reveal his feelings." I turned to Marcus. "Did you love my sister, ever, or was she always just a placeholder?" Marcus didn't answer. He just stood there, exposed. Josh, the best man, stepped forward. "Marcus, tell me this isn't true." Marcus started, his voice cracked. "I can explain." "Explain?" Crystal's voice was sharp, angry. "Explain how you've been using me for 2 years? Explain how you proposed to me while thinking about my sister?" "Crystal, I do care about you. I thought I could make it work. I thought, over time..." "Over time what? You'd forget about Maya? You'd settle for me? I'm settling?" Her voice rose with each word. My mother pushed through the crowd. "This is insane. Maya, you've ruined your sister's wedding." "I didn't ruin anything," I said. "I just revealed the truth. Marcus ruined it when he decided to marry someone he didn't love." My father finally spoke. "Is this true, Marcus? All of it?" Marcus looked at me, really looked at me. "Maya, I'm sorry. I never meant for it to go this far. I thought if I was patient, if I was around long enough, you'd see me, really see me, and maybe you'd feel something too." "I don't even know you," I said. "You never talked to me, never asked me out. You just obsessed from a distance and then used my sister as a consolation prize. That's not love, that's delusion." Crystal pulled off her engagement ring, threw it at Marcus. It bounced off his chest and hit the floor. "We're done," she said. "We're so done." She turned to me. Her face was a mess of tears and makeup. "You could have told me privately. You didn't have to humiliate me in front of everyone." "Like you humiliated me by making me your wedding photographer instead of my bridesmaid because I'm too fat for your photos? Like you've humiliated me our entire lives by treating me like I'm not good enough to stand next to you?" My mother gasped. "Maya, that's uncalled for." "Is it? When was the last time anyone in this family treated me like I mattered? When was the last time Crystal made a comment about my weight? When was the last time you introduced me as your daughter without adding our younger one, like I'm some kind of afterthought?" Silence. No one had an answer. "I'm done," I said. "I'm done being invisible. I'm done being the fat sister who doesn't count. I'm done taking photos of other people's happiness while pretending I don't deserve my own." I picked up my camera bags, started walking toward the exit. Josh caught up with me in the parking lot. "Hey, that was brutal, but also kind of amazing." "I just blew up my sister's wedding." "You exposed a guy who was using your sister. That's different." "My family will never forgive me." "Then maybe they weren't worth forgiving. For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing. Crystal deserved to know before she married someone who didn't actually love her. She hates me. Right now, yeah, but eventually she might realize you saved her from a terrible marriage. And if not, at least you stood up for yourself. That counts for something." He handed me a business card. "I'm a wedding planner. If you ever need work, I know a lot of couples who need photographers. Real ones, not family members getting exploited." I took the card. "Thanks." I drove home, alone. My phone started blowing up with messages, angry texts from my mother, crying voicemails from Crystal, radio silence from my father, but also messages from cousins I barely knew. Good for you. About time someone called out Crystal's behavior. Marcus always seemed fake. And one message from Rebecca. Thank you for using the screenshots. I hope it helped. It did. Thank you for sending them. What are you going to do now? Good question. What was I going to do? It's been 3 months since the wedding, or the non-wedding, the event that broke my family apart. Crystal called off the engagement officially. Marcus tried to win her back for about a week before giving up. Last I heard, he moved to a different city, started therapy, reached out once to apologize to me. I didn't respond. Crystal hasn't spoken to me since that day. My mother calls occasionally to tell me how disappointed she is. My father sent one text. You could have handled that differently. I didn't respond to that either. But here's the thing. I'm okay. Better than okay. Josh connected me with several wedding planners. I'm booking more photography jobs than ever, real jobs, where clients value my work and pay me fairly. I started therapy too, working through years of family dysfunction, learning to set boundaries, learning that I deserve to take up space. I joined a photography collective, met other artists who see me as a peer, not as someone's little sister, not as the fat one, just as Maya, as someone with talent and worth. Last week, I got an email from a magazine. They'd seen my work online and wanted to feature me in an article about emerging wedding photographers. The editor wrote, "Your eye for capturing authentic emotion is remarkable. We'd love to showcase your portfolio." My portfolio, my work, my talent. Not Crystal's wedding, not my family's expectations. Mine. I'm learning that sometimes the best revenge isn't dramatic confrontation. It's living well. It's building a life where you don't need anyone's approval. But I won't lie, exposing Marcus at that wedding felt pretty good too. People ask if I regret it, if I wish I'd handled things differently. The truth? No, not really. Could I have told Crystal privately? Sure. But would she have believed me? Would she have called off the wedding? Or would she have convinced herself I was jealous, bitter, lying? The public exposure forced everyone to face the truth. No room for denial, no way to sweep it under the rug. Was it cruel? Maybe, but so was treating me like I didn't matter for 28 years. I'm done being the bigger person, literally and figuratively. I'm done shrinking myself to make other people comfortable. I'm done being invisible. And if that makes me the villain in my family's story, I can live with that, because for the first time in my life, I'm the hero in my own story. That's enough.